Today is April 30th, 2023, and I wanted to take a minute to update my review of the JVC True Wireless Earbuds. And I did a first impression sort of vlog review of these back on September 28th, 2022, last year, 7 months ago. And so I've had these now for 7 months, and I actually bought a second pair as well. So now I've got 2 pair of these, and the second pair I bought on October 30th, and I bought it as a backup pair. I actually bought 2 pair because they were on sale on Amazon, and I bought one for my girlfriend to give to her for Christmas, and I bought a second pair for myself as a backup. And it's a good thing I did too, because I started having issues with my first pair, and I'll explain that in a minute. But I like them. I like them a lot, and I use them a lot, and I'm glad I bought a second pair, and they can be stupidly cheap. The first pair I bought for the regular price of $24.99 off Amazon, and then the second pair I got on sale, the second 2 pair I got on sale, they were $13.99 each. And so I couldn't pass that up when they hit at that price. It was like, all right, I'm buying a pair for my girlfriend and a spare for myself. And so it was kind of an impulse buy at the time, but it was just I couldn't resist it, you know. Even though it had only been a month since I bought my first pair. But I had a month of using them, and I liked them a lot, and so it was like, all right, you know what, let's get another one. And the other reason I wanted to get another pair, honestly, was because I had my first pair hooked up to my iPhone. And these, unlike my bigger Bose headphones, which can be paired to 2 different devices at once and can kind of go back and forth, these are like most Bluetooth headphones. They can only be paired to 1 device at a time, and you have to unpair them and repair them and all that. And it's kind of a pain in the butt. So I was like, I want to get a second pair that I can hook up to my Mac Mini, which is this one's labeled Mac Mini, and that way I can have one, you know, synced up to my Mac Mini and the other synced up to my iPhone, and I can just grab the one that goes with each and use it and not have to worry about going through the dance of having to like repair them. So actually the pair that's hooked up to my Mac Mini right now is actually my first pair. And the reason for that is because shortly after I got my second set, I was cleaning. I had dropped one of these on the floor, and I was cleaning it with hand sanitizer, just some Purell hand sanitizer. And it was my fault, but I just kind of gunked it on and was, you know, messing with it. I figured it says it's IP4 or IPX4 rated or whatever. I figured so it's got some water resistance. It should be fine, right? I throw Purell on other devices like my iPhone and stuff all the time to just sanitize it, like if I drop it or whatever. So I figured it'd be fine. But my earbud stopped working at first, and I was worried about it. And then I cleaned it a little bit, and it just started to be a little muffled sounding. So I was like, okay, it's still working. It must just be clogged up. So I got in there and started working it more with like a paper towel or whatever. And I got it working better. But I was never able to get it like fully recovered back to like its full sound quality. And I even went in with a little bit of a needle, which I probably shouldn't have done. Like a sewing needle, well, not a sewing needle, but it's like one of the kind of push pins like you get in a dress shirt or whatever. I went in with one of those and just kind of tried to get into the nooks and crannies a little bit, hoping that maybe there was like a bubble or something I could pop. I don't know. But I didn't damage it any further, but I didn't make it any better either. And since then, and that's been months now, it still sounded the same, which is not muffled, but just lower volume, where it just doesn't get as loud because it's having to get past, you know, whatever dried up hand sanitizer is in there. And it's not like these things are easy to take apart as far as I know. So there's no like screws or anything that I can see. I think I'd have to pry it apart. I think it's all glued together, and I don't want to go through that. So I just I hooked it up to my Mac Mini because I can actually change the balance on the Mac Mini, and I can slide it so that it's, you know, biased toward the left side, which is the one that's having trouble. And as a result, I can balance the two out again, and I can listen to it just fine. The only real downside is that it doesn't get as loud as it would otherwise, because, you know, you're having to compensate. But other than that, it works just fine, hooked up to the Mac Mini. And honestly, I really don't use them very much because I've got my other two bigger sets of my Bose and my Sony Bluetooth headphones hooked up to my Mac Mini anyway. So the only time I really end up using these is when, like, I find out that both of those are dead and I forgot to charge them or something. And that's only happened a couple times. And so, or if I really just don't want to wear a big set of headphones, in which case I'll throw these on. But even then, most of the time I'm throwing these on because these are synced to my phone, and my phone, you know, I've got it hooked up to my TV through the Roku app, so I can throw something on the TV and listen to it when I'm doing dishes, or even just I want to watch TV at night. In fact, that tends to be how I use it a lot, is I run out of the house with my phone with it, or I watch TV with it with the Roku app at night when my girlfriend's sleeping or something, and I don't want to disturb her, and so it's easy to just throw these on. They're lightweight, and they last forever. I mean, like, I was skeptical of the 7 hours when I did my first review of these, but honestly, yeah, I would say 7 hours is probably, I've never measured them, but I'd say that that's probably pretty accurate because these things last forever. And then the case recharges them a couple of times too, which is great. So, I mean, they go forever and ever before I have to plug them back in and actually recharge them. Unlike these Skull Candies I had bought before, which are the earplug style, and they only last about 2.5 hours. And I barely use these. In fact, I only brought them for sort of demonstration in this video. They're the little, like I said, they're the earplug style that has the little plug in them. And I don't like those as much. I've gotten used to them a little bit more, but I barely wear them because I still prefer this style. And somebody commented about how I should show these more. When I actually, in my last video, I kind of forgot to show them. And I think it's because I was just doing a quick, like, vlog style video. I wasn't, like, throwing a bunch of B-roll and doing a bunch of editing, and that's probably the case here too. And but yeah, this is what they look like. I don't know if that's in focus very well because I'm shooting on my back camera on my iPhone, so I can't see. But this is what they look like, and they got little contacts on the bottom here, and that's how they plug into the case. Is there's little contacts. There's a magnetic lid, and there's little contacts in the bottom of the case, and they just kind of magnetically snap right back in and they start charging. And then there's a little USB-C on the back for charging, and a little 4 LED indicator light on the front that shows you how much power the case has, not the actual units themselves have. And there's little white little LED lights on the top. I don't know if you can see that in this light on the top of each unit, and they kind of come on when the case is open, or they flash when they're syncing or whatever. Yeah, but I mean, they're great, and for the price, I mean, you really can't beat them. I mean, even 25 bucks, I think that they're a great price. But when I paid $13.99 for two pair, you know, for each pair, I was like, that's crazy cheap, crazy cheap. And even today, I looked online today, and they're on sale right now for $19.99 on Amazon. And the white pair are $21.10, kind of a weird price, but actually I noticed last night that the white pair were on sale for $21.10, and the black pair were still like a couple dollars more expensive. And then when I looked today, the black pair were now on sale for $19.99. So usually the black pair are a little cheaper than the white pair for whatever reason, and I like the black pair better. Yeah, but so it was kind of weird last night when the white pair were a little cheaper than the black pair, but that got corrected today. But yeah, I like the black pair better anyway. So, but if I were to buy another pair, a third pair, I might get a white pair just to have something different. I don't know, but yeah, they've been great. And the only issue I had, and one of the reasons I'm even making this update today, is because I had a little bit of an issue with this pair last night, my newest pair. The first time I've really had an issue, and I shut them off, like it wasn't working for whatever reason, like the sync wasn't going with my phone, and so I shut this one off independently, and then I turned it back on, but it wasn't syncing or wasn't doing anything. The light was on, but it wasn't on. The touch sensor wasn't working. Nothing was responding. I kept putting it back into the case. I tried resetting it. I tried resyncing it. I did a whole bunch of things, and I could not get it to work. And so finally, I decided to just leave it out of the case. And I left it out of the case overnight. Because I noticed the LED was on, and it was on constantly, which meant that it was on and the battery was running. So I thought, well, you know what, I'll just leave it going the whole night and let it run out of its battery power, and maybe that'll like reset it, and then I can put it back in the case and recharge it and see if it'll resync. And sure enough, that worked. So if you're having issues, if you have a pair of these and you're having issues like that, this is the first time I've had this. I've never had that issue with my first pair, and this is the first time I've ever had that issue with this pair, having owned them now for, whatever it is, 5 months or whatever, 6 months. And it was the first time I ever had that issue, and yeah, I got it resynced. I had to reset them. You have to hold them down for 15 seconds each inside the case and reset them and resync them afterwards. And I just followed the instructions on JVC's website to do that, which was pretty simple. So after letting them run down and then recharging it a little bit, and then I did the resync with it, and they're working fine now. They're working like normal. So that's great. Hopefully I don't have that issue again. But that's the only real issue I've had with these things in, like I said, the 5-6 months I've had them open and have been using them. And but otherwise they're great. And compared to whatever it is, $100, $129, $200, whatever it is for the Apple AirPods, I'm sure that those are good headphones and everything. But for the price, especially right now, $20, $13.99. These things are always going on sale, it seems like, because every time I look at it, they seem to be going on sale. Even at $25, that's what, a quarter to an eighth of the price, and it's just crazy cheap. And if you can get it cheaper than that, it's almost like lunch money. I wouldn't be surprised if these started coming in Happy Meals at some point in time. You know what I mean? Like, these things are getting so cheap, and the battery lasts forever. The sound quality is good. I listen to it with music, but I'm mostly listening to it with, like I said, the Roku TV app on my phone, or with podcasts like YouTube and other podcasts and stuff on my phone when I'm just running around in my car. Or I'll even use it like a lot of times I'll use it just like in my ear with Google Maps, and I'll have my stereo on in my car because I can hear everything just fine. They're not plug style, so they don't stop me from hearing any outside sound. So, which is great. I love that. I want to be able to hear my surroundings. And so I can hear everything, and I can hear my music just fine as if I'm not even wearing them. In fact, sometimes I forget they're even in. And yet at the same time, I can have like Google Maps going, and rather than have it go through my stereo and like shut off my music every time it gives me an alert to turn right here or whatever, I just have it chirping in my ear telling me that. And then, well, my stereo is still going at constant, volume, and not going up and down with Google Maps interrupting it or anything. So that's cool, and I've used it for that a lot as well. So I've gotten a lot of use out of these things, and for the price, it's just been way worth the money. Even if, and again, user error on my part, don't clean these with hand sanitizer. At least don't gunk the hand sanitizer on. No matter what they say about their IPX rating or whatever. Granted, that's water, but I figured it would apply to hand sanitizer as well, but apparently it didn't. And I still do use the hand sanitizer. I put it on a cloth and I kind of wipe it a little bit, to clean it off and sterilize it if it's fallen on the floor or anything. So I'm a lot more delicate when I sanitize them compared to then, because I've learned my lesson, and since then I haven't had any issues, so that seems to work out fine. Just be careful with that if you just don't just gunk them in hand sanitizer the way I was. Certainly learned my lesson, like I said. Okay, So anyway, that's it. I think that's probably my final review for these things, because I think 2 is good enough, and unless I get a third pair at some point and want, with a color change or something, and want to review those just for the sake of the color change, or unless something drastic happens with these. I love them. I think they sound great. They last forever on a charge, and they're still small. They're still lightweight. They let me hear everything. And they've been pretty much fuss-free, except for a couple of issues. But yeah, other than that, all is well. And you know what? I know I said that I was going to do more videos this year, and this is really the first video I'm posting this year. It's been 4 months since my last video. It's been a heck of a ride this year, and I've had a lot going on, and I did plan to make more videos this year and dive more into like video subjects and things, like reviewing my thoughts and feelings on DVD and Blu-ray and all that kind of stuff, since I sort of had an audio year last year with mini disc and CD. I still plan on getting to that kind of stuff this year. It's just been a bit of a ride this year, and I've had to get some other things taken care of. So, but I do plan on focusing more on the channel at least in the second half of this year, if not immediately. But I figured this one's an easy car-based kind of no editing vlog review or update. So I figured I'd just throw this one out there for the time being. All right, until next time, have a good one.